Ahead on 12 News, a Plymouth mom's way of life.
Bring that belly in! And pulse, pulse, pulse.
That's already earning her national recognition. Plus, a Brooklyn Park family's uncomfortable predicament and the little-known law they're trying to raise awareness about. But first, digging into the data of teen pregnancy, the results that may surprise you. 12 News starts right now. Teen pregnancy rates in Hennepin County have declined for the 5th consecutive year. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. An analysis of birth certificates in Hennepin County shows nearly 1,200 teenagers gave birth in 2007. But in 2011, that number dropped to fewer than 700, a decline of 41%. Delane Cleveland explains what's behind the drop. Delane?
Mike and Alex, experts in Hennepin County attribute the decline in large part to the work they've been able to do with the $17 million federal grant they received in 2010 that provides teens with sex education and life skills training.
But there's definitely more education out there in the community. We're doing a ton of outreach, and I attribute a large reason to the decrease in pregnancy to us being out there in the community.
The Annex Teen Clinic in Robbinsdale is one of the organizations to benefit from the grant. Haley Morgan works for the clinic as a health educator at Brooklyn Center High School. Counselors such as her provide students throughout Northwest Hennepin County with information about contraceptives, disease prevention, and ways to avoid risky behavior. Students involved in her program say they were grateful to have her as a resource.
Not everybody's comfortable with talking to like guidance counselors and stuff like that. So having a good connection with someone is really important because you can't talk to everybody about certain stuff. So having Haley there is just very important, and I think it helped the school a lot.
Well, it's an issue that's particularly close to Brooklyn Center, where teen birth rates actually went up slightly in 2011. But that uptick comes after a 44% decrease since 2007. Mike and Alex?
All right, thank you, Delane. A Brooklyn Park family is trying to raise awareness about inflammatory bowel disease after their little girl was put in an embarrassing situation.
Their child has colitis and needed to use the bathroom, but a New Hope business was hesitant to let her use their facilities, even though it was the law. Sonia Goins explains.
Aria Love is only 7 years old, but she's already had a lot of ups and downs in her lifetime.
She was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. It'll be 2 years in August.
I need a boost.
Ulcerative colitis is an inflammatory bowel disease.
She doesn't have control over her bowels, so at any moment she could soil herself, and that, to me, is more devastating for a child.
About 25,000 Minnesotans have IBD, which causes painful stomach cramps and diarrhea.
When you can't get to a bathroom right away, how does it make you feel? Look at Sonia and Tater.
Bad.
Because what will happen?
I will have an accident.
She almost had a close call last week. While the family was out running errands, Aria suddenly had to go to the bathroom. So they stopped into this Lifetime Fitness in New Hope.
And the girl still was like, well, it's a members-only club. And I was like, I'm going. So I took my card and I took her back to the bathroom.
Jill Love showed the Lifetime manager what's known as the I Can't Wait card. It's part of the Restroom Access Act. It allows people with certain medical conditions to use the bathrooms in many businesses.
You shouldn't have to show a card to prove that you need to use the restroom because of having a disease.
Tova Dominic is with the Minnesota chapter of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America.
It's embarrassing enough to have to ask someone to use the restroom, but then to be denied access, I mean, unfortunately, it happens every single day around the country to Crohn's and colitis patients.
Lifetime Fitness eventually allowed Aria to use its bathrooms. The health club gave us this statement saying, "We commit to our members that we will uphold access requirements to our facilities." With that said, in this instance, once the guest presented the card, she was granted access to our private club.
She said I'd have to fill out this paperwork, and then she went about helping everyone else.
Aria's family says
I waited and I waited.
They want more businesses to be aware of the law.
Even though people with Crohn's and colitis might look healthy on the outside, there's reasons on the inside that are not in their control, that they need use of that restroom as soon as possible.
Now, the Restroom Access Act was passed last year in Minnesota. Meanwhile, Aria was an honoree at this past weekend's Take Steps Walk. It's a fundraiser for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. The Minnesota chapter raised $135,000. Mike and Alex, I can relate to Aria. I have Crohn's disease, so I know exactly what she's going through.
And you just finished a half marathon in Chicago to raise money for Crohn's.
I'm a little sore, but I'm part of Team Challenge Minnesota, and we raised $30,000. So
doing your part.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sonia.
Thank you.
Well, there's a new challenge for motorists getting around to New Hope. The busy intersection at Winnetka and 42nd Avenue closed this morning and will stay closed for about a month. CenterPoint Energy is replacing large natural gas pipelines on Winnetka, and the intersection will partially open, but not until July 7th.
So we do realize while it's a big inconvenience, we have to get this line replaced and back in service before the winter months when our customers actually need and use larger quantities of natural gas.
The nearby McDonald's is making the best of it with road construction specials. And those who don't follow the detours could get a ticket if they're caught cutting through parking lots. There's one more road closure to tell you about. Vicksburg Lane in Plymouth will be closed between Schmidt Lake Road and County Road 47. The closure takes place from 3 to 11 a.m. now through June 18th. It'll allow Canadian Pacific Railroad to complete its work.
Congressman Eric Paulsen is calling for aggressive prosecution of a former National Security Agency employee who says he leaked highly classified information. Paulsen was at a Cub food store in Plymouth today to meet with local constituents. He says the information leaked raises questions about government surveillance.
Now, it does open up for members of Congress to make sure that we are evaluating the programs. Is the administration being forthright, making sure that we are surveilling those that intend to do harm on our country, because this program has defended us, but at the same time making sure that regular folks are not being entrapped with their emails, their personal information, phone records, etc.
Paulsen says in some cases it appears special operations were set up without a court order. A lot of parents might feel they don't have the time or the energy to hit the gym.
But one Plymouth mom has made fitness her lifestyle. Renee Bonneau shows you how she's hoping to inspire the rest of the country to do the same.
On this sleepy Monday morning, Tiger Fit Studio is jumping like a nightclub. And pumping up the crowd is Stacy Clark. Clark runs the Plymouth Fitness Studio with her husband, Chris. The former fashion director left her corporate job a few years ago to pursue her passion for fitness full-time.
I've been an athlete all of my life, 3 sports athlete through high school. But I have over 20 years experience as a trainer and teaching classes and clients.
Comes to the party every time with her energy, her excitement.
Faithful followers like Patty Turkboss flock to Tiger Fit for Clark's enthusiasm and support.
Amazing amount of passion. I don't know how I could do as many classes as she does in a day, and each and every time she brings it.
After transforming lives here in the Twin Cities, Clark is ready to inspire people nationwide. Last winter, the 40-year-old mom of 2 entered a contest to be Women's Health Magazine's next fitness star.
This is my lifestyle. This is what I do. This is who I am. So I thought, why not?
Out of thousands of applicants, she was chosen as one of the top 5 finalists in the country. She's also the only mom in the bunch. The winner will create a collection of DVDs for women's health and become a fitness expert for the magazine.
I'm in it to win it. I want to bring it home. I want to set a great example for other moms and young females and inspire families to move.
Clients say if anyone can do it, Clark can.
I just wish her all success because she's worked really hard to get where she is and to do what she does.
In Plymouth, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
Well, Clark says voting begins June 19th at womenshealthmag.com, and the winner will be announced in August. Good luck to her.
In it to win it.
She's got a lot going for her. Coming up, a Golden Valley woman who makes the printed word pop off the page.
She's making a big difference in helping those who are legally blind. And later in sports, we preview the Champlin Park girls and boys lacrosse teams as they get set for the state tournament.
But first, a check of your AccuWeather forecast. For 19 years, a Golden Valley woman has run a business helping blind people read.
She transcribes print into Braille, and in this week's Business Matters, we discover why it's work that's personal and has a wide reach.
They know what I want, and so that's great.
At the original Pancake House,
I usually get poached eggs and toast and bacon.
Menu favorites are so ingrained.
No, I come in and say, I'll have my regular, and they know what it is.
The regulars don't need a menu.
Plump blueberries.
But for others,
Buttermilk, strawberries, whipped cream, and powdered sugar.
Maureen Pranghofer
So there's a line and there's another line.
puts the information at their fingertips.
It's really wonderful to have your own menu and be able to look at it and see the prices and see what, how something's made.
Legally blind since birth, Maureen has a business that transforms printed word into Braille.
This guy's name was Newton Piper. His wife is blind, and he wanted to give her a poem for their anniversary.
She's done it for everything from restaurant menus to company contracts.
Insurance policies.
Using a specialized computer and software, the material is first read to Maureen.
Just with this one command, I can turn it into Braille.
She also must format the Braille so it's easy to read, and sometimes she even finds errors in a client's print.
They're kind of embarrassed because I'm totally blind, and here I'm finding mistakes in their thing that they've been giving out to the public for forever, So.
And my favorite is the Eggs Michael.
At the original Pancake House,
If I knew it was my last day on earth, I would start my day with an Eggs Michael.
restaurant owner Tom Bruins has his menu favorite, but he says hiring Maureen to create a Braille menu has created more customers.
She printed up 2 of them. I'm not sure how many times we've reprinted them, but they've been used, and people that have used them have told other people with the same handicap, and so it's actually been good for business.
In Braille, it's not called printing, it's called embossing.
Today, only about 4% of all printed material is available in Braille.
And we appreciate our customers.
Maureen Pranghofer helps put some of that material within fingertips reach.
They don't realize how special it is when you get your own thing that you can open up and read and do it yourself.
Maureen often does personal projects like wedding invitations, but she's also done larger jobs for the Federal Department of Labor and the City of Detroit. One interesting thing, 1 page of print equals 3 pages of Braille, so they end up being quite heavy textbooks once she's done. Coming up, a colorful way to celebrate Tater Days.
A 7-year-old girl from Brooklyn Park puts her creative spin on the City Festival. But first in sports, a big day for local track and field athletes at the state meet. John Jacobson has the highlights when we come back. A state track and field tournament, and John, looks like the Northwest Metro did pretty well.
They did do it, yeah. We had some really good athletes the last few years, and a lot of them represented on Saturday. Several local track and field athletes representing most of our local schools were in St. Paul Saturday for the final day of the season, and many came home with medals. Highlights from the Class AA finals at Hamlin University. Boys 100 meters, and in the black top and blue shorts, it's Hopkins' Shaheed Hickman who wins in 10.9 seconds. Taylor Anderson of Hopkins won the girls' 100-meter dash. In the girls' 4x100 relay, Hopkins quartet of Demai Manuel Moore, Siona Fitzhugh, and sisters Elise and Taylor Anderson, that's Taylor as the anchor, win it. They set a new state meet record with a time of 47.48 seconds. Girls' 200 meters and a terrific race between Anderson of Hopkins and Phyllis Webb of Osseo in the orange. Webb wins at the end by 0.03 of a second in a time of 24.83 seconds. Wayzata's boys relay of Obaniah Wamu, Chris Pearson, and brothers James and Mike Smith, that's Mike the anchor for this race, take the boys 4x400 with a time of 3 minutes, 17.06 seconds. Here's what a trio of winners had to say after their races.
It felt amazing. We went in wanting to beat our record, but the fact that we did just makes everything more exciting.
It feels great. It feels great running next to these 3. We repeated. I had the privilege to be on the team this year, so it feels good.
The first 100 meters, I thought I had it when she came up on my right side, and I started freaking out. So I started pumping my arms faster, and we went like that. And then I remember my coaches told me I've never leaned this whole year. And I remember right before I got there, I was like, lean. And I was like, ah. So it worked out.
Also, Wayzata's boys 4x200 meter relay team set a new state meet record on Saturday. Well, Tuesday is the opening day for the state lacrosse tournament for both the boys and the girls, and the teams from Champlin Park are in the field for the first time. Rebels boys team is the number 3 seed for the tournament, and they'll face Totino Grace in the quarterfinals Tuesday afternoon. Champlin Park knocked off Blaine in a 1-goal thriller in the Section 7 final, avenging their only conference loss in the Northwest Suburban Conference. It's a great win that the Rebels hope leads to more.
I mean, I think that was the biggest game of my life and will be, I think, for a long time. And just like working together, you know, staying in it and like being down 4 goals and never giving up, I think that was huge for Champlin Park.
We've only had the program for a few years here. It's nice to finally get some recognition throughout the state. I know we haven't been historically a perennial state team, but I'd like to make that a change over the next couple of years.
The Rebels girls team beat Coon Rapids 8-5 in their Section 7 title game, also avenging a regular season loss. After graduating much of their scoring punch from a year ago, this trip to state has been a rewarding achievement.
I mean, we worked all season specifically for this game. I feel like that this was the game that we worked towards because we knew we were going to be playing them.
We played Coon Rapids before and we lost, but we have gotten a lot better being under pressure, and we've really grown as a team this year. And if someone had said that we would be in state at the end of the year, I probably wouldn't have believed them, but I think that we earned it and we worked really hard for it, so I guess I'm surprised, but in a good way.
The Champlin Park girls face the top seed Eden Prairie in the quarterfinals Tuesday at 5 o'clock at Chanhassen High School. The Armstrong girls play Blake right before that at 3 o'clock. The Wayzata boys golf team will swing for its 4th state title in 5 years this week. The Trojans are a young team, but they played very well at the Section 6-3A tournament, winning the title by 9 strokes. The lineup for Wayzata has changed a bit throughout the season, but the golfers that will be on the course for the state tournament are a talented and confident group.
These players have been working at it since January, February. And so to finally come down and get through sections, which was our goal. I mean, the journey was to get to sections and play well, and now the opportunity to play at state, we're very excited because it's been, 4 or 5 months worth of effort leading up to this.
The first tee times for the Class 3A boys team tournament are 7:30 Tuesday morning at Bunker Hills in Coon Rapids. And Class A and AA golf also going on Tuesday as well, Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, John. Still ahead, a potato designed to perfection.
We'll be right back.
Well, finally, someone who can't wait to meet a big potato.
7-year-old Josephine Kahn is the winner of this year's Tater Daze button contest. The Edinbrook Elementary student will get to ride in this year's parade, and she created this Tater Daze button, which shows Brooklyn Park's mascot holding a Tater Daze poster. Josephine will receive a cash prize for designing the winning button. And keep in mind, Tater Daze festivities begin on Thursday night and run through Sunday at Noble Sports Park. New this year, the parade takes place Saturday at noon. It used to start Thursday night, so a little change this year.
Yep.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corners coming up next, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.